When God chooses you, it's an extraordinary sign that your life is about to embark on a journey of divine purpose and transformation. You might feel a stirring in your heart, a sense of calling that you can't quite explain, or perhaps you've noticed unexpected opportunities and blessings coming your way. These are not mere coincidences. They are profound indicators that God has a special plan for you. In this video, we'll explore 7 unmistakable signs that God has chosen you. Understanding these signs can help you recognize His hand at work in your life and embrace the path He has set before you. Each sign is illustrated with stories from the Bible, showing how God called and equipped individuals for His divine purposes. These biblical examples will not only inspire you, but also provide practical insights into how you can respond to God's call in your own life. Are you ready to discover if God has chosen you? By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of the signs that indicate His divine selection. Let's dive in and explore these signs together, opening our hearts to the wonderful ways God works in our lives. Sign 1. A deep sense of calling. One of the most profound signs that God has chosen you is a deep sense of calling. This feeling often starts as a small, persistent whisper in your heart, growing louder and more undeniable over time. It's as if God is gently nudging you towards a path that feels both exciting and daunting. This inner conviction might lead you to question your current life direction, urging you to consider a higher purpose. A beautiful example of this can be found in the story of Jeremiah. In Jeremiah 1:4-5, we read about his calling. The word of the Lord came to me, saying, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah was young and felt unprepared, yet God's call was clear and unmistakable. God reassured him, providing the strength and words he needed to fulfill his mission. Jeremiah's story shows us that feeling inadequate or unworthy doesn't disqualify us from God's call. Instead, it highlights our reliance on His strength and guidance. In our own lives, a deep sense of calling can manifest in various ways. You might feel an unshakable desire to pursue a certain profession, help a particular group of people, or start a new project that aligns with your values and passions. This calling might feel overwhelming at times, but it's crucial to remember that God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. Your feelings of inadequacy are a reminder to lean on His wisdom and strength. Take some time to reflect on the areas in your life where you feel a strong pull. Pray for clarity and courage to follow this calling. Remember, just as God reassured Jeremiah, He will also provide you with the tools and support you need. Embrace this deep sense of calling as a divine invitation to step into the purpose God has uniquely designed for you. Sign 2. Unexplained favor and opportunities. Another significant sign that God has chosen you is the presence of unexplained favor and opportunities in your life. These moments of divine intervention can often seem too good to be true, arriving just when you need them most. This favor isn't a result of your own efforts or merits. Instead, it is a clear indication of God's hand guiding and providing for you. Consider the story of Esther, a young Jewish woman who rose from obscurity to become the queen of Persia. The book of Esther recounts how she found favor in the eyes of everyone who saw her. Now the king was attracted to Esther more than to any of the other women, and she won his favor and approval more than any of the other virgins. So he set a royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Esther's journey to queenship was marked by a series of divine interventions that positioned her perfectly to save her people from destruction. Her favor with the king and those around her was not a mere coincidence, but a strategic placement by God for a purpose far greater than she could have imagined. In our lives, divine favor can manifest in various forms. It could be a job opportunity that aligns perfectly with your skills and passions, a timely financial provision, or meeting people who open doors you never thought possible. These moments of favor are God's way of positioning you for His purposes. They serve as reminders that He is actively involved in your journey, orchestrating events to align with His divine plan. When you experience unexplained favor and opportunities, take a moment to recognize and acknowledge God's hand in your life. These blessings are not random. They are carefully woven into your story by a loving Creator who has chosen you for a special purpose. Embrace these opportunities with gratitude and humility, and be mindful of how you can use them to further God's kingdom. Reflect on the moments in your life where things seem to fall into place effortlessly. Consider how these instances might be signs of God's favor and His divine plan unfolding in your life. Trust that He is leading you, and be open to the possibilities that come your way, knowing that they are part of His grand design for you. Sign 3. Spiritual gifts and talents. Another clear sign that God has chosen you is the presence of unique spiritual gifts and talents. These abilities, often discovered or developed over time, are given to you for a specific purpose. They enable you to serve others and fulfill the calling that God has placed on your life. An illustrative example from the Bible is the story of Bezalel, a craftsman chosen by God to help build the tabernacle. In Exodus 31:1-5, God endowed him with exceptional skills in craftsmanship, combined with divine wisdom and understanding, to create beautiful and holy artifacts that honor God. In our lives, spiritual gifts and talents might include abilities such as teaching, leadership, compassion, creativity, or hospitality. These gifts are not just natural talents, but are empowered by the Holy Spirit to accomplish God's work. Recognizing these gifts can sometimes be challenging, but through prayer, self-reflection, and the affirmation of others, you can discover how uniquely equipped you are for God's purposes. Reflect on the areas where you excel and feel most fulfilled. These could be indications of the spiritual gifts God has given you. Embrace these talents with humility and a willingness to follow where God leads you. As you use your spiritual gifts, you will see how God's hand is at work, shaping your life for His greater purpose. Sign 4. Inner transformation and growth. This transformation often begins subtly, but becomes more evident as you seek and follow God's will. It's not just about changing your actions. It's about a profound shift in your heart, mind, and spirit. When God chooses you, He molds and shapes you into the person He has called you to be. A remarkable example of this transformation is the story of Saul, who became Paul. Initially, Saul was a zealous persecutor of Christians, but his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus changed everything. Acts 9:1-22 details this transformative event, where Saul's encounter with Jesus led to his blindness and subsequent conversion. Saul's transformation into Paul was not just about changing his name or actions. It was a complete renewal of his heart and mind. Paul became one of the most influential apostles, spreading the gospel and writing letters that continue to guide and inspire Christians today. In our lives, inner transformation can manifest in many ways. You might develop a deeper sense of compassion, patience, and understanding. Old habits and negative patterns start to fade, replaced by a desire to live in a way that honors God. This growth signifies that God is at work within you, refining and preparing you for His purposes. Reflecting on your own journey, consider the ways you have changed over time. Have you noticed a shift in your priorities, values, or attitudes? Are you more drawn to activities and relationships that nurture your faith and align with God's will? These changes are evidence of God's transformative power in your life. This transformation process is ongoing, and requires active participation. Engage in regular prayer, study of the scriptures, and fellowship with other believers. These practices will help you stay connected to God and open to His guidance. As you grow spiritually, you'll be better equipped to handle life's challenges and more attuned to God's voice. Transformation is not always easy. It often involves facing difficult truths about yourself and making significant changes. But take heart, for God is with you every step of the way, providing the strength and wisdom you need. Embrace this journey of growth, knowing that each step brings you closer to fulfilling the divine purpose God has chosen for you. Sign 5. Overcoming challenges and adversities. Life is filled with trials and tribulations, but when God has chosen you, you will find a unique resilience and strength to rise above these difficulties. This doesn't mean life will be easy. Rather, it means that God's presence and support will be evident in your journey through hardships. A powerful biblical example of overcoming adversity is the story of Joseph. His life, as detailed in Genesis 37 and 39-41, is a testament to enduring faith and divine favor amid severe trials. Joseph was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, and imprisoned unjustly. Despite these hardships, Joseph remained faithful to God, and his faith was rewarded. In Genesis 39-21-23, it is written that God's favor was upon Joseph even in prison, leading to his eventual rise to power as the second in command in Egypt. He was instrumental in saving Egypt and his own family from famine. Joseph's story demonstrates that God's chosen are equipped with the strength to endure and overcome adversity, often emerging stronger and more capable of fulfilling God's purposes. In our lives, overcoming challenges might not always result in immediate rewards or recognition. However, the inner strength and resilience that come from trusting in God are invaluable. These experiences shape our character, deepen our faith, and prepare us for greater responsibilities in God's plan. When facing adversities, it's crucial to maintain a perspective of faith and trust in God. Remember that these trials are not meant to break you, but to build you up. Romans 5:3-4 reminds us, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Embrace the challenges in your life as opportunities for growth and transformation. Trust that God is with you, providing the strength and resilience needed to overcome any obstacle. Through faith, perseverance, and reliance on God, you will not only survive but thrive, fulfilling the divine purpose He has chosen for you. Sign 6. A heart for service and compassion. A significant sign that God has chosen you is having a profound heart for service and compassion. This calling often manifests as a deep-seated desire to help others, alleviate suffering, and make a positive impact. When God chooses you, He instills within you a compassion that mirrors His own love for humanity. A powerful biblical example is the story of Ruth. Ruth showed incredible loyalty and compassion towards her mother-in-law Naomi, despite facing her own challenges. In Ruth 1:16-17, Ruth's commitment to Naomi exemplifies a heart for service. Her actions led her to Boaz and ultimately placed her in the lineage of King David and Jesus Christ, showing how a heart for service can lead to significant roles in God's plan. In our lives, this sign might manifest as a desire to volunteer, work in professions that help others, or offer kindness and support. Reflect on moments when you felt moved to help someone, even at personal expense. These experiences indicate God's work in your heart, aligning you with His compassionate nature. Embrace this calling by being attentive to the needs around you and responding with love and kindness. Each act of compassion brings you closer to fulfilling God's purpose, reflecting His love to the world. Sign 7. Divine guidance and revelation. A significant sign that God has chosen you is experiencing divine guidance and revelation. This sign is characterized by moments of clarity, insight, and direction that seem to come from beyond yourself. It might be through prayer, scripture, dreams, or even the counsel of others. When God chooses you, He often communicates His plans and guidance in ways that are unmistakably divine. A compelling example of divine guidance in the Bible is the story of Samuel. From a young age, Samuel experienced direct communication from God, which set the course for his life as a prophet. In 1 Samuel 3:1-10, Samuel's first encounter with God's voice is described, where he eventually responds, "Speak, for your servant is listening," marking the beginning of his prophetic ministry. Samuel's responsiveness to God's voice and his willingness to follow His guidance led to divine revelations that guided his actions and the entire nation of Israel. In our lives, divine guidance can come in various forms. You might feel a strong prompting to take a particular course of action, receive a vivid dream that provides clarity, or find that certain scriptures speak directly to your situation. Sometimes this guidance comes through the wisdom and advice of godly mentors and friends who help you discern God's will. Reflect on times when you felt a strong sense of direction or received insights that seemed to come from beyond yourself. These moments are indications of God's hand guiding you. Divine revelations often bring peace and confidence, even if the path ahead is challenging or uncertain. To cultivate an openness to divine guidance, prioritize time in prayer and study of the Bible. Create space for quiet reflection where you can listen for God's voice. Seek counsel from trusted spiritual mentors who can help you interpret and confirm what you believe God is revealing to you. Remember, God's guidance is not always about dramatic revelations. Sometimes it is the gentle, consistent nudging in your heart. Proverbs 3:5-6 encourages us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Embrace this sign as a testament to God's intimate involvement in your life. Trust in His revelations and be willing to follow where He leads, knowing that His plans are for your good and His glory. As you experience divine guidance, you will find yourself aligned with God's purpose and equipped to fulfill the calling He has placed on your life. So, what should you do if you recognize these signs in your life? First, take time to reflect and pray, seeking God's guidance and confirmation. Embrace your calling with faith and courage, trusting that God will equip you for the journey ahead. Remember, God's call is not just about accepting a new task. It's about embracing a transformative journey that aligns your personal history with the divine narrative. It's about participating in a bigger story, one that contributes to God's overarching plan for humanity. As you move forward, keep your heart open to God's leading and be willing to step into the unknown with faith and trust. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the signs that God has chosen you. If this video resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel, like it, and leave a comment. Your support helps us continue to create content that inspires and enlightens. Until the next video, may you continue to experience God's abundant blessings and guidance in your life.